Hello everyone. Settle in, settle in. Welcome. I'm Professor Capybara, and today we're going to dive right into the very heart of the English sentence. We're talking about the engine that drives all meaning, the verb phrase. Shall we begin?
So, here's what we have on the docket for today. We're going to start with the absolute basics, and then we'll build our way up piece by piece, from simple verbs to compound ones, and then we'll even tackle those tricky little things called phrasal verbs. And trust me, by the end of this, you'll see why mastering this stuff is a real grammar superpower.
You know, I call the verb phrase an engine for a very good reason. It's truly what makes the sentence go. It's the part that contains the action or the state of being. It's the doing or the being part of it all. Without a verb phrase, a sentence is just, well, it's just a bunch of words sitting there with no purpose.
Okay, so let's see how this engine is actually built. We're going to begin with the most fundamental form. Before we can construct these great linguistic towers, we first have to understand the single solid stone that they're all built upon.
A simple verb phrase is, well, exactly what it sounds like. Simple. It's just one word, the main verb, doing all of the heavy lifting all on its own. No helpers, no assistants. Just pure, direct action. Take a look at this example. She sings beautifully. What's the action here? It sings. That's it. That one single word is the entire verb phrase. It tells us precisely what she does. Simple, clear, and very elegant. But of course, language is rarely that straightforward for very long, is it? We often need to add a bit more detail, a little more nuance. And to do that, our main verb sometimes needs a partner, a helping verb.
So these helping verbs, or as we grammarians like to call them, auxiliary verbs, they team up with the main verb to give us more information. Are we talking about the past, the present, or the future? Is the action still going on? These little helpers make everything so much clearer.
Now have a look at this one. The main action, the main verb, is playing. But that little word are is our crucial helping verb. It's the word that tells us this action is happening right now, in this moment. Without are, the meaning just isn't complete. So let's put them side by side so you can really see the difference. On the left, you've got one word, sings, carrying all the meaning. But on the right, we've got a team. The helping verb, are, is supporting the main verb, playing. And that right there is the leap from a simple to a compound verb phrase. Okay, but what if we want to add even more context? What if we want to explain why or where an action is happening? Well, for that, we need to get just a little more complex. A complex verb phrase takes our main verb, and its helpers if it has any, and it adds more descriptive elements right into the phrase itself. These could be things like prepositional phrases or other modifiers that describe the action in much greater detail. In this example, the verb phrase isn't just went. The entire idea, went to the park to play, is actually functioning as a single unit. It describes his action and his purpose. It gives us a much, much richer picture of what's going on. All right, let's break this down. First, we identify our main verb. That's easy enough, went. Now, step 2, everything else in that phrase, to the park to play, is modifying and completing the idea. It's telling us where he went and why he went there. See how it all works together?
And now, we arrive at my absolute favorite part, the phrasal verb. This is where English gets a little bit mischievous. It's where two or more words join forces to create a meaning that is completely different from their individual definitions. It's quite fun, really.
Just think about this for a moment. If you had never ever heard the phrase turned off before, would you think it means to physically rotate something? I suppose you might, but we all know it means something else entirely, don't we? So, here's the formal definition for you. A phrasal verb is a team, a main verb, and a little sidekick called a particle. That's just a fancy word for an adverb or a preposition. The trick is, you can't understand the phrase by defining the words separately. You have to learn what the whole team means when it works together. In this case, turned off doesn't mean she literally rotated the lights. Of course not. It means she deactivated them. She switched them off. Those two words have created a totally new, idiomatic meaning. That's the magic, and I admit the challenge, of phrasal verbs.
So, we've journeyed all the way from the simple to the complex. But you might be asking yourself, Professor, why does any of this actually matter? Well, it matters because understanding all of this unlocks a new grammar superpower.
When you can really see these structures, you can dissect sentences with incredible precision. You can spot the core action immediately. You can interpret all those subtle details that the helping verbs give you. And ultimately, you can communicate your own ideas with so much more clarity and nuance. It really is the key to mastering expression.
And so, I'll leave you with this thought. You now have the architectural blueprints of the sentence. You understand how its engine works. The only question left is, what magnificent ideas, what powerful arguments, and what beautiful stories will you build with them? Class dismissed.